A Scottsbluff business owner is honored by the Small Business Administration. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the director of the Nebraska division of the Small Business Administration and staff stopped in Scottsbluff yesterday to congratulate Mike Moravec for winning Nebraska Small Business Person of the Year. At a gathering at Bluff's Physical Therapy, Tim Mitten told those attending how Moravec came to be selected, as his application always kept coming to the top.
He's resilient. He started in, 2018? Yep. All right. Tough time, great time to start. But then a few things happened a couple years later. He stayed going, which is also very good. All right. And then when he had the opportunity, he came back with this. All right. How many employees?
Right now we have 18.
18 employees. So, thank you.
Mitten also noted that this award is more than just being a good business person.
He's obviously a good business person, obviously a good boss, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to. I'm going to assume that. But the other part is that and the more I've talked about him, the more I hear is his involvement within the community. So we look at business owners that are not just good at business. There has to be a component in there that is connected to the community where they live, work, and employ. And that is why he won this award. And it was pretty obvious who was the person who should receive it.
While Moravec had already received his state award from the U.S. Secretary of Labor, he was also given a glass sculpture that resembled Scottsbluff National Monument, as well as a framed announcement commemorating the event. Moravec thanked his wife, family, and staff, saying the expansion of the business that led to the award would not have been possible without them. Well, an Alliance woman has lost her appeal on 2 drug distribution convictions out of Box Butte County, stemming from a Wing Drug Task Force investigation. 32-year-old Paige Debus was sentenced in October to a total of 10 to 14 years in prison on convictions of distribution of meth and distribution of fentanyl. In July, she pleaded no contest to the Class 2 felonies, which carry a sentence ranging from 1 to 50 years. Debus's argument to the Nebraska Court of Appeals was that her sentence was excessive, but on Wednesday, the appellate court agreed with the district court, saying that Debus waived her right to appeal her sentence when she entered into her plea agreement. Her sentence and conviction were upheld, and Debus has a projected release date from prison in September of 2030. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance, and in retrospect, a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. WNCC will confer 331 degrees, diplomas, and certificates at the 92nd commencement ceremony on Saturday, May 11th. Morgan Baird, Ms. Nebraska 2023 of Gering, will deliver this year's commencement address. She's a 2021 graduate of WNCC and then moved on to University of Nebraska-Lincoln, where she graduated with her Bachelor's of Arts in Poli-Sci in May of 2023. The commencement ceremony is scheduled for 10 a.m. in Cougar Palace and will be streamed online at www.kneb.tv and our kneb.tv YouTube channel. Well, only 2 of 66 businesses recently checked for alcohol sales compliance in Scottsbluff County failed a recent enforcement effort. According to Monument Prevention Coalition, Trends Express Mart and WTT sold alcohol to a cooperating minor during the April 20th effort, with one of them checking an ID but still making the sale. The compliance rate of 97% was a considerable improvement from the previous enforcement effort last November. That month, 9 of the 77 license holders sold to minors, making that compliance rate 88%. The Gering and Scottsbluff Police Departments, Scottsbluff County Sheriff's Office, and Nebraska State Patrol collaborated in conducting this enforcement effort. And Gering High's esports recently clinched the runner-up position in the highly competitive State Esports Championship. Teams from across the state battled it out in Rocket League, which took place at Concordia University. In an intense final showdown, Gering High School's team showcased their skill in a match that ended in a narrow 1-2 loss during sudden death overtime. Coach Rick Merez said GHS has some of the best skilled players in the state, and it was fun to watch them compete and support one another.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Fridays in the Field is brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. Let's check in on planting progress with Susan Littlefield.
We're outside of the town of Rising City, between Rising City and Surprise, where Mother Nature has for the last couple of years not given anybody any rain. And then she opened up the spigot, and as you can see behind me, we have got a lot of rain, a lot of moisture that is taking place, which unfortunately has caused for a delay in the planting. So we're bringing in farmer Kevin Siffring. And Kevin, let's talk about the field behind us. When did you first plant this?
This was planted last Wednesday.
Okay, so just about a week ago in that sense. What did you plant?
Corn.
So looking
this is corn for silage here.
Okay, so looking at it now, underwater once again, let's talk about this field and the issues you have with this one.
It's always low. If you, I always tell my wife, I say if you plant everything fence to fence and get nothing rounded out, it's not good for the dry land. So it's actually in the long run, I'll take these spots, replanting them, or once or twice, or give up eventually. So I'll take the rain anytime. So because you never know when you're not going to get it.
Exactly.
As we all know.
Exactly. We just kind of went through that. 4 years of not a lot of rain, and you've got some dry land. So I'm sure this moisture that you're seeing right now for these fields is very welcome. Yeah,
it was beautiful. I was planting some dry land yesterday. It was so nice having moisture everywhere. So yeah, very, very nice to have the rain.
Now I think what's unique about this field as well is you talked about gravity, and it is a low spot, but your dad farm's right next to you, and so the water kind of flows on its own into a holding area that doesn't soak into the ground.
Yeah, it just fills up. You could tell when it rained that we had like 250 out of the last rain, and you could tell that it took a lot. And for swamp, and a lot of times it has enough in it, ahead of time that it doesn't take much. But it drank a lot, and so that's how dry we are here. That's how dry we are. It took so much water. So, and now it's obviously hitting its point where it's filling that underneath it up. Which is nice to have that reservoir kind of filled up because, like you said, you don't know what the next weather. Exactly.
So as you look at the fields and when you were starting to plant initially, were you planting some in the dust to start out this spring year?
Oh yes, definitely. There was moisture underneath, but on top, yeah, it was very dusty out here. So yeah, and then and even yesterday there was dust even before we had that little sprinkle yesterday. Then there was no dust after that. But yeah, it was definitely dry on top, but we still had some underneath. So because we're way ahead of last year. So
I was just gonna.
Last year was so dusty the whole time.
I was going to ask, what was your deficit going in? Do you know? When you talked to your agronomists and your crop guys, what were they saying fall at harvest, what this was like?
We dug some post holes there last week, and it was clear down. It was very powdery for clay. So yeah, that's what I'm going by. It was definitely a deficit. So I don't know what it was, but technically, but I don't know what it was, but it was definitely dry.
The dust definitely can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as you look at this, how long will it take for this field to be dry enough that you can go in and do a replant?
That probably will be, depending on what we get, but now for rain, but yeah, that may not get back in again. So if it will, it'll be super late. So it may go back to beans. So that's what I usually do. If it, floods out the spot that is, just put beans in there. So, because obviously the fertilizer's gone.
Oh yeah. Very much so. So you're gonna have to do a reapplication as well then?
No, just put beans in it and then don't have to worry about it putting any more fertilizer into it.
So some might say, well, Kevin, if this floods out, why even plant in the first place?
Because farmers are eternal optimists. At least I am. So people ask me that, why do I plant any of my low spots? I'm like, some years that's the best stuff. Like last year, the low ground was way better than anything up high, just because it had that reserve underneath. So just plant it. You don't want it to be weeds, so.
Very true. Well, we wish you the best in this year's growing season, and thanks for joining us and sharing your swamp field with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar brought to you by Riverstone Bank. community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, one local college is celebrating a milestone event this weekend. Summit Christian College is hosting its 15th annual Summit to Summit 7.2-mile run and walk tomorrow morning. This challenging course begins at Summit Christian College, goes all the way up to the summit of the Scottsbluff National Monument, and then back down to the college. Registrar and Financial Aid Coordinator Kayleen Colopy says there's still time for you to get signed up to participate in this year's event.
They can still register today and even come in tomorrow up until about 7 to get registered with us. Registration is available online. All of that is really super simple this year. Just get online. You can pay with cash, credit card, check, whatever is easy for you there. We will have people on site here if you need a little help with registration, so stop on by, see us, we'll take care of you.
The website for registration is summit2summit.org, and the race starts promptly at 7:30 a.m. Saturday. Chris Cottrell will be live on scene with her remote from 8 to 10 on 94.1 The Brand and KMOR. Well, that is it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.